Welcome to Build Out with Jim Kunkel, your go-to broadcast for learning more about business in the real world. Your host, Jim Kunkel, who is an accomplished professional in business development, sales, and marketing, and is a technical content creator along with being a rising influencer on LinkedIn. On Build Out, you'll get the latest information and knowledge from subject matter experts from across the globe. Okay, let's get this Build Out broadcast started. And here's your host, Jim Kunkel.
I'm Jim Kunkel. Welcome to Build Out. Very proud to have my guest for this episode, Courtney Culpepper from Culpepper Consulting. Courtney, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Courtney, for those watching our broadcast today who might not know, I'll be honest, if people don't know you, I'm shocked. But for those that might not know you, could you do a favor and provide a background on yourself, what you do, and talk about your consulting group as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I am born and raised here in Hampton Roads, which is home of America's shipyard. And I was very fortunate to be raised by my father and grandparents in industrial marine repair industry since the 1940s. And it is all I've known and loved. I try to get out of it and go different areas, but I came back to it. Never got away from this area. I love being here, home of America's beautiful shipyards. We also have the Port of Virginia and everything that is just so wonderful to see happening here in Hampton Roads. I have been in the industrial marine equipment sales and surface prep equipment sales and rentals for the last 10 years and been very fortunate to learn all about industrial coatings and applications and dust collection, and been able to find myself in a position of being in my own consulting company and helping contractors and companies find their best opportunities and best solutions that fit their needs that they need for success in our industry. And I've also just received my NBPI certification this past February. And I'm also the president of the AMP Mid-Atlantic chapter that now covers the entire state of Virginia. I was previously the president of SSPC Hampton Roads, and with the merger, we are now covering the whole state of Virginia. So I'm very excited to cover all of Virginia and go beyond just our marine repair here. I'm very involved with other organizations and community service in my church. I absolutely love the mentors I have gained in the industry. I'm very thankful for where things are going, and I'm just so thankful to be here with you today, Jim.
Oh, I'm so grateful to have you join me for this episode. And Courtney, do you have time to do anything else other than what you just ran through?
Just a little bit. I enjoy my wonderful dogs, which I apologize. They might be in the background and do some barking and silliness. I have a Great Dane named Duke and a miniature Jack Russell named Zora. And I have horses and enjoy time with family and friends and being at the beach and just enjoy life here in Hampton Roads.
Perfect. And I really appreciate all the hard work that you and others in Virginia and the Hampton Roads area do. You really make the Navy do well, and also, too, a lot of the other type of infrastructure work that's done by a lot of the great contractors and workers in industrial coatings out of the state of Virginia and even into North Carolina as well. Courtney, your story of being in industrial coatings, you're someone who really kind of, grew up in it and continue to grow with the industry. Myself, I became involved in industrial coatings through fabrication, and then ultimately where you and I met when I was working for the Society for Protective Coatings, and then into AMP, working for AMP as well. What I find amazing is when I listen to the stories of people who have grown up in this industry called industrial coatings, I'm just amazed with the amount of pride and also to just the aspect of community and really trying to help out. And you and I have had long discussions regarding, women in corrosion, women in coatings. And I know that at the end of our broadcast that we have here, we're going to talk a little bit about upcoming series that you're going to be launching, a podcast series, and starting to get into being a content creator to really help drive a lot of that messaging. So I want everyone to hold on to the end of our conversation here, and we're talking about job opportunities in industrial coatings. Courtney, we're in a current situation that's been going on for a number of years. We don't have enough craft workers here in North America to perform the abrasive blasting, surface preparation, the coating application, and then there's also other specialties too when it comes to a certain type of inspection or certain types of application that are also lacking as well. How much of an impact has this labor shortage been for the Hampton Roads, Virginia, North Carolina region when it comes to industrial coatings?
It's been extremely tough. It's been in the pre-COVID. I preached when I was elected as SSPC president in 2020. It was January, and my big mission was Generation Z, and let's get into the high schools and let's flip the scripts of these college counselors in the high schools and let them know that it's okay to do skilled trades and how important it is and what the impact was, especially here in Hampton Roads with all of our shipyards and marine coatings jobs that are out there and the importance of them. And it's just been sad, honestly, to see that is dwindled even more and how hard it is to be able to gain the workforce and to get the excitement. Everyone calls it, ooh, a dirty job, but they're not understanding how important these jobs are, not just for ships and submarines, but for America and the safety for all of us to continue to be free in America and how important it is. And people just don't realize it. And it has this bad view on it that it's a dirty job. You only do that if you don't have a college degree and you weren't good enough. You go work in the shipyard. And I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for our shipyards, our community here would not have done as well as we did through COVID. And so important, not just for our community, but for America.
Yeah, I think the misconception that really exists, that to your point where you're saying that, these type of jobs are dirty, they're hard. Yes, they are. They can be very dirty. They could be definitely very hard, but they're very rewarding when it comes to the type of income that a blaster or an applicator or an inspector or whoever you might be, a foreman on a crew.
Yes.
You do have a great opportunity to learn a trade. And what's very unique about this trade is that you're not just going to step into a role, let's say as an abrasive blaster and doing surface preparation. You have the ability to create a career path. And that's kind of what we want to focus on our conversation on, is career path. You can go right from high school right into this trade. In fact, you can, even if you're a college graduate and you're having difficulty really finding a rewarding job, you can also come into this trade as well and have a great opportunity. In fact, one of the stories I tell, I ran into a 26-year-old female abrasive, blaster in New Jersey area. She had tried to really make a run with the Marine Corps, and it didn't work out. And she decided she wanted to get out of the Marine Corps. She got involved with the trade union, the IUPAT, International Union of Painters, and started to create, her apprenticeship. And she was making very good money. In fact, she said, this is the type of money that I didn't even think I could make. I am so glad that I found out about this trade and also got involved. And her future plans were to kind of progress and get involved into, running a crew, being a foreman, maybe a project manager, get into inspection. And then because she knew that she couldn't be an abrasive blaster her whole life or an applicator, she knew that there'd be a point in time where she just probably did not want to be doing this type of work and wanted to look at a change. And for her, there's a huge career path opportunity for her. You have experience, working both with the Hampton Roads chapter, also working in the shipyards. Have you seen the career progression that can happen for people who get involved in this trade?
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen it and heard the stories of people who came in being a blaster painter off the street and had no idea what they were doing, some are now in multi-million-dollar companies and they're the CEOs of them. And it's such a great, lucrative, amazing opportunity that we don't talk about. And it's I laugh and I joke with, I have lots of friends who have their kids who have these wonderful college degrees and they're living at home with $200,000 in debt and can't even get a job at Starbucks. But yet there's so many opportunities in our wonderful apprenticeship schools with our shipyards and opportunities where you can go and get a college degree paid for, learn the skilled trade, and at 21 years old have a very successful career path already planned out for you. You're not in debt, and you own a house and you're renting a room to your friends who went to college and are in college debt and can't do anything with that college degree.
That's a good point. There's the dogs behind you there.
Oh, here's Duke. He wanted to say hello.
But, you bring up a good point because, the one thing that I really didn't go into is, a lot of the, contractors, a lot of them in the past were family businesses. Now they are corporations. Some become part of larger corporations. So there's even a lot of more opportunity within the trade itself. And the other thing too, when you look at the related jobs to it, I work for an international company that does marine and protective coatings. And, there's a lot of opportunities related to the manufacturing of industrial coatings, to anything from the formulation of it, the marketing, the distribution of the products, all the support services that are there, all the materials that are needed to do surface prep and other type of work. So it's a huge industry, and it's a global industry too, which is absolutely outstanding. What I've noticed over the last number of years, and let's say maybe the last 10 years, you've had kind of a combination or collaboration, let's say, of union, non-union contractors. Also, too, you have different organizations, SSPC, NACE International, now AMP. You have a lot of the manufacturers. You have a lot of different entities that have been pulling together to really help sell the story of how you can be a success by becoming an industrial coder, industrial blaster, getting involved in inspection and other type of jobs that really are well paying. In the States here in North America, you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs that are currently active, but there's a huge shortage across the whole spectrum when it comes to industrial coatings of openings and opportunities within that. When you work with some of the trade schools and that, are you getting any type of pushback as to maybe why they're not really grabbing hold of industrial coatings and those type of jobs?
It's honestly getting the old school mentality out that it's okay to go do a skilled trade and understanding the importance. And just because you may start as a blaster or painter doesn't mean you have to stay there. There's so many opportunities to grow in there. I mean, I've never had to be a true blaster and painter. I've been very fortunate to learn about the industry. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to tell you the difference between a dust collector and a blast pot, but I was able to understand how it was applied. And I've been very fortunate to learn the industry. So it's not just being an industrial coder, it's understanding what industrial coatings and all the jobs that it is out there, from engineering of designing of the paint to, like you said, the marketing of it, to procurement, to inspectors. But it's just sad to see that we're not being cheerleaders in America, and we're the shining of the light onto the skilled trades is just not that bright. It used to be such a prideful thing for people to be in a part of the American shipyards and realizing that every day what they were doing was going to help support the safety of America's ships and submarines. And now we have people in this instant desire and instant gratification and thinking that everything's online or it's all with a college degree. And there's just so much that they just don't see. And it's just our job and our role to flip the script, is what I keep telling them. We have to flip the script and teach these schools and teach the parents. And unfortunately, I do hear from a lot of parents who said, I don't want my kids to go work in the shipyard because my parents were working in the shipyard and they were never around. And it is true. It is a lot of hours and it is a lot of work, and it's not always clean and it's not always easy. And there's deadlines and all sorts of things that they have to go through. But it's so rewarding to know at the end of the day, your job matters, and it's not just a job. It's for the safety of America.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. You have a lot of interaction with contractors. What's some of the feedback you're getting from contractors when it comes for them for recruiting labor?
It's getting hard. I mean, I think anyone in skilled trades is understanding how hard it is, especially coming after COVID. And so many people were not working and sitting at home that, hey, yeah, there's no app and there's no YouTube and there's no TikTok video to get this job done. You've actually got to go out there and do the work, and it becomes hard. I've seen also with the welding and blasting of the younger generation, these kids have been behind the computer for the last 2 years. And even before that, they were stuck on technology. And now it's, no, this is real life. You really got to go in there and do this. And it's also our job to provide active learning centers and give them a real sense and understanding that in welding, it's not just a little weld booth and here it is, or same with blasting and painting. They got to realize you got to go into tanks. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be dark. You've got to go up and down stairs and in through dark spaces and stay there. And we've got to help these kids realize that hard work is still a necessary, vital part of survival. And it's not just whatever the app or the phone may tell them. And getting away from instant. It's not instant in this. And you've got to pay attention and follow instructions and understand the details of it. And it's just a sad thing we're seeing across America, that people just don't want to stay long, and they get excited that for a moment and then they jump to the next thing. And that's just unfortunate of the way America is. And we've got to, again, flip the script.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, messaging, and also to really kind of selling harder. And what I mean by that, give you a good example. I had the opportunity years back to participate in a career event, and it had high school age kids, coming through and looking at the different trades. A lot of trades were at this event, and I had video running. I was participating with another third party, and a video running of a blaster in fully suited, air conditioned suit, doing a blast, and I believe I think if I remember correctly, it was on a bridge structure. And, they had the tarps around them, containment, all this other good stuff like that. And one of the kids had said, wow, it's like wearing a spacesuit.
Yeah.
And he was intrigued with that, watching that video. And I'm thinking, maybe those are ways to kind of sell that it, not focusing on the hardness, the dirtiness,
right,
all that, but also to look, you get to get into an air conditioned suit. You're going to be blasting that surface, right, and think about when your parents or your friends or your spouse, whoever it might be, is driving under that bridge or over that bridge, and they get to see that freshly painted, beautiful color bridge, steel bridge, and say, hey, I did that. I helped maintain that bridge, make it a 100-year bridge or wherever it might be. And the same thing when it comes to the shipyards as well, because to your point, our readiness when it comes as a nation, when you have a large naval power like we are, you have to make sure that corrosion is completely under control and check. And you just got certified, I think, 2 months ago in paint inspection for the Navy. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm an MBPI.
So, those are other, like I say, when we talk about other aspects, there are different aspects and different ways that careers can be carved out in industrial coatings. You don't have to start, blasting steel and then coating and then moving your way that way. You can't, but there's a lot of other ways to move in. And then related to other type of industries and jobs, those exist as well. So that if myself, believe it or not, I'm a little claustrophobic. So I'm probably going to have a harder time, if I were to put on a suit, I'm probably going to have a harder time doing that. So I'm not suited for that, but maybe I'm suited for other aspects.
Right.
And that's the way to look at it. That being said, when I was younger, going through college, I paid my way through college and then use other people's money for my master's degree. But, I got lucky that way. Today, college is, you almost have to take out, it's like a huge mortgage on a home. You're
Yeah.
talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to get a college degree. And that doesn't guarantee you anything coming out because you're going to go out and join. But if you could go in literally almost in a way, low debt or almost no debt and go into a trade and come out making great money,
Yeah.
maybe that's how you fund yourself to go to night school or get a degree if you want to have a degree. Because, you never know if you're going to be in an industrial trade like coatings. Maybe you want to become an owner of a contracting operation, or you want to progress and become an inspector for the Navy, for example, when you're doing paint inspection and things like that. So there's so many opportunities. Courtney, let me ask you this. What, in your opinion, you're part of, I'm a member of AMP, you're a member of AMP, also too, related to the industry. Obviously, both you and I work in the same industry, different roles in different ways. What more can be done by individuals who work in our industry to help promote the skilled trades within our industrial coatings to recruit people?
We got to talk about it. We got to bring joy into it. We have to go to, especially the next generation. They are not seekers. They are expecting everything to really be brought to them. And we got to make it fun. We got to make it look cool, because it is a really cool, fun job. Like you were talking about earlier, like it looks like a spacesuit, or all the innovation technology coming out with robotics. I have a very dear friend of mine who works in the shipyard as a tank blaster, and he's like, I don't want my son to work in the shipyard. And I was like, okay. And I showed him a video of a robotic doing some blasting. He was like, that's really cool. And it's just going and realizing the innovations that are out there and making it fun and enjoyable. We've all just got to rally behind it and be a cheerleader and really show it's a lot of fun. It's not just a dirty job and a dirty environment. It's a very rewarding and successful opportunity for so many to get into. And especially now, the possibilities are endless. I'm seeing so many organizations grabbing some people and watching the right training get to the right people, and watching these next generations just soar and realize that they could have never gone to college. They could have never afforded this. And they're in their 20s and making six-figure incomes and own their own homes. And they would have never done it if they had just gone by what the high school said, that, hey, if you don't go to college, you can't do much. And they have been very fortunate to do that. So I am seeing a great trend, especially here in Hampton Roads, with the workforce development, the contractors, all of our different organizations. Everyone's coming together and realizing we all got to be a part of this solution. It's not going to happen if we don't all work together, and it's not going to be easy. And we do have the generational gap of those retiring and those coming into the industry. And we're just working together and working as a team to realize what's the end goal here. We have a big history of having such a great reputation here in Hampton Roads, and to keep that, and to keep America's ships and submarines and bridges and anything and everything with the coating, to keep it going and being the best of the best, we've got to all support each other and be cheerleaders for our industry, and all help each other and give the right tools and use the great training and virtual reality training to get people into it and say, oh, that looks fun, and continue to make it fun.
In that line of making it fun, in the part of cheerleading, let's talk about your future plans regarding podcasting.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I just want to help celebrate the great stories, especially here in Hampton Roads. We have some amazing stories of great people who started as just a skilled trades laborer, who are now running multi-million-dollar companies, whether as executives or owners of these companies, who learn by doing, and how great and successful they have become. And I just want to get their story out to help, again, be the cheerleader to say, hey, there's so many opportunities. Listen to these stories, listen to what they went through and where they're at now. And these opportunities are available to everyone who wants to be a part of it. And there's definitely a shortage of the workforce. So it is a great time to get in the industry and learn and grow in great ways. And it's so great to see what's happening here in Hampton Roads and the growth, and everyone's starting to come together, and we're all just realizing the future is in our hands, and here we go.
That's so wonderful. When you and I first started talking and you were explaining what your thoughts were, I just really so happy for you, because, this is something that you have been, I've known you for a number of years, and your involvement in Hampton Roads, and you definitely are that cheerleader when it comes to the industry, but also for the region that you live in, for the trades. And I think you broadcasting and having a podcast and really getting the stories, interviewing the workers, interviewing the inspectors, interviewing the contractors, all the different parties that are involved in our industry, and especially focusing on women in coatings as well. That is so wonderful, and I so greatly appreciate you taking this step, because we need voices like yourself. We need more voices out there, and I think you're going to help to inspire a lot of people. I think you're going to inspire a lot of young professionals. I think also you're also going to inspire women to really look at our industry and say, I need to be involved in this industry, because it's an awesome industry to not only work in but help grow. And so, Courtney, I'm looking so forward to your broadcast or podcast.
Thank you for being such a great friend over the years and being a great cheerleader and mentor to me and helping me along this path. And it's just been such a pleasure to connect with so many great people in this industry. I tell people every day is a blessing to do what I get to do, and it's fun. Like, I truly have fun every day. There's days where it's hard, but the rewards are so benefiting to know the impact that this industry has on our community and our nation.
Yeah, it is. It is a strong community. It's a giving community, and it's also a community of collaboration. That's the one thing that's really, the number of years I've been involved in industrial coatings have really impressed me, is that the strong solidarity with each and everybody who works, both in the trades and professionally within our industry, and even globally as well. It's such an awesome global community to be involved with. And we need to do more to get our message out there and to get others to join our cause and to really help drive the future for industrial coatings, not only here in North America, but globally as well. So, Courtney, how can people get in touch with you? I know you have a LinkedIn profile, but do you have any other type of social media that you
I have LinkedIn. I am relaunching on other avenues of social media. I have a wonderful rebranding coaches team, actually going for a weekend-long retreat with 6 other amazing women in other industries, and we have a whole weekend of photo shoots and training and social media content, and we're just excited for it. And I'm very blessed for my coaches and what we're about to do. So it is all coming, but you can catch me right now on LinkedIn, and then we will be launching the other parts of the podcast and the YouTube and the TikTok and everything else related on all socials, even though some days I wish we didn't have all these socials, and I feel sometimes it might be a distraction, but I have to realize that's how we're going to get to everyone. So I'm excited to really go through the last year. It's been a wonderful year of transformation. The last 6 months has been very focused on what my passion was. And that's the one thing I just want to tell everyone, that whatever you do, if it's industrial coatings or not, just follow your passion and make sure everything you do every day, you're happy doing it, because it's your life and you only get one chance at life right now. And it's just so important that we follow what makes us happy, because it's just in a world of chaos here lately that we've really got to just stay happy to stay above it all.
Yeah, follow what makes us happy. What a great message. Courtney, it's been an awesome opportunity to have a conversation with you. I appreciate you joining me for this episode. Everybody, make sure that you do follow Courtney, and stay tuned for additional news and information about the broadcast and podcast and other social platforms as well. Courtney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
I hope you found value with today's Build Out broadcast. Make sure you connect with Jim on LinkedIn and subscribe to his YouTube channel. This way you'll be notified on new live streams and when new content is released. Please give today's broadcast a like and share with your connections and colleagues. Thanks for watching, and please visit buildoutproductions.com for additional content and to join the mailing list so you can keep updated on other streams and quality content from the creators on the Build Out Productions team.